The sun meeting Neptune in the sky, well, sometimes that can be the most confusing day of the year, sometimes the most disillusioning day of the year. But the flip side is that this might, for many of us out there, just be the most inspired day of the year as well. It might be the most creative. It might be the day that feels the most spiritual, the most plugged into source. What makes the difference is the intention that we set for ourselves and how much it is that we're willing to be honest with ourselves. Last week, when the sun met Saturn, that showed us something about our state of self-honesty, even when it's hard. Well, now here we are, choosing soul, choosing spirit, choosing faith, even when it's hard, just might be the difference between being dramatically disappointed or feeling positively uplifted. We're either going to find ourselves tired, drained, because we dive way into an illusion that just cannot last, or we find ourselves filled up with a sense of higher meaning and purpose as we navigate this time. One thing's for sure, though, when the sun meets Neptune, it is an energy of extremes. There's not a whole lot of middle ground here, but what that means is whatever happens, well, it has the potential to feel that much more significant and meaningful and cleansing as well. Now, how this energy will speak to you depends on your sun, moon, and rising. Take all three signs into consideration, synthesize the information to make it unique to you. And of course, there are lots more horoscopes up right now over on my YouTube channel, Nadiya Shah, and in the superstar space over at thefutureismagical.com. Aries, the divine meeting of the sun and Neptune in the sign just before yours means that a lot is happening on levels of soul, psyche, and spirit. It is an energy of a well of emotion and sensitivity and even psychic ability coming to the surface. The important thing to remember is to allow change to happen. If you are here, it means that you have a lot more to do in this lifetime. You absolutely do. And the ability to see magic is going to be especially strong. But as part of that magic, it means that change must happen. This can be fortunate karmic closures that feel like a miracle that visit you now. And ultimately, it's part of creating space for the new and the next to come rushing in. Taurus, friendships and group alliances. Either it's going to feel as if a friendship that might have been important to you at one time is just washing away, is exiting. Maybe you feel like someone has not been honest with you or intentionally been deceptive. But it might also be a time when, as a result of the people that you're connected with in groups or on a friendship level, a rush of healing comes in. You may have to be discerning as to whom it is you go to, depending on your own intention. But really, this is either bliss or disappointment. Either way, you get to the same place, which is about faith and about seeing the good within yourself and knowing that truly magical friendships are opening up for you, whether they're opening up because someone exits or they're opening up because the ones that are already there become richer and that much more meaningful. Gemini, career, social standing, life purpose, and your understanding of a higher, more loving vision for your life. This is a time of change. It's either higher meaning, seeing spirit, seeing the divine in the career path that you have, or it's going to be an awareness that perhaps a path that you're on just ain't it. And it's okay for it to wash away so that space can be created for perhaps new goals to emerge at this time. Now, life purpose can take on greater spiritual significance for you. And where it is that you are intentionally aligning life purpose and soul purpose together, well, this can be a time of reward as well, the kind that feels like magic. If you are in a profession that has to do with weaving and illusion or healing professions as well, those are the ones that likely are going to feel that much more blessed under the light of this conjunction. Cancer, long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, and legal matters. Now, if you are doing any traveling, it is likely going to feel like a spiritual pilgrimage, no matter where it is that you end up going. But this can also be seemingly magical ways where matters having to do with what I just mentioned, they just might find resolution. So if there's been a troublesome issue where it comes to perhaps a legal matter, well, this is where it can feel as if your troubles just wash away. That's the miraculous part of this, but also this can be disillusionment or disappointment in these given matters as well. More personally, this part of the sky has to do with understanding your place in the world. And this is a certain spiritual fervor that might feel uncharacteristic, but it takes you over as part of understanding ultimately what pathway that is revealing itself to you in terms of your changing relationship with the world and the divine itself. Leo, truth, transformation, regeneration, and wealth. This is where spiritual truths are that much more readily available to you. They feel that much more apparent, and you're able to bring this universal love to your understanding of some psychological or physical journey of transformation you might be in the midst of. It's important to trust a higher wisdom now, especially if it is that you're aiming for power, as your definition of power itself might go through a change. You might feel very drawn to what previously was taboo to you, but remember, you're likely not seeing it clearly. It's possible you'll have to pay attention to a matter having to do with a credit card or a loan or benefits that you qualify for. But whatever comes up, understand that when we have energy like this, it says that the money you need is there, but the spiritual lessons will be that much more on the surface. And this can be a flush of wealth coming in, but it can go the other way as well, because remember, this is an energy of extremes. So be mindful of that and engage your lessons consciously. Go love and partnership. You just are not seeing another person very clearly now. And sometimes that's really good, right? You need hope and fantasy in order to even try where it comes to matters of love. And you'll have that in abundance. Now, either it's going to feel like a dream come true, being swept up, or it's going to feel just downright disappointing or disillusioning in the context of love. Either are extremes, and either might be way too much of one or the other. And in some rare cases, it may feel as if someone exits your life, maybe someone that you previously had partnered with, or you find a depth of forgiveness. Remember, Venus is retrograde. All might not be as it seems, but you're coming to understand what a soulmate is to you and what it isn't, as part of knowing when to welcome in forgiveness that brings closeness, or allow change to take you another way. Leo, your daily life, your work life, clients, customers, coworkers, but also how well you take care of you, including on a level of your health. It may feel as if one of these types of people I just mentioned isn't being straightforward with you or maybe honest with you, but it's also possible that it isn't intentional. This can be finding spiritual significance in the mundane things you do day in and day out. In fact, that's the best way to use this energy now. For all that, though, we have energies here that speak to feeling that much more spiritually connected to the daily habits and rituals that guide your life, not just at work, but outside that as well. Where it comes to how well you take care of you on a health level, this can be either mysterious allergy energy that might come and go very quickly, or this can be a sense of spiritual healing that feels profound that could find you now. Scorpio, romance, flirtation, what the heart wants in every area of life. This is where you really might feel very caught up in a fantasy. It's that sense of a knight coming in and rescuing you that you might be going for, surprisingly so, where you least expected it. But remember, this is your experience of love. It's not necessarily a give and take energy we're seeing here. And so it really might be you feeling very wrapped up in a fantasy. Outside of that, though, that doesn't mean that it isn't meaningful nonetheless, and that love can be a force of healing in your life now is undeniable. But this can also be channeled towards a creative endeavor where if you take the time to focus on your creative output, you may just generate something that feels like you've touched on magic. Sagittarius, home, the past, your living situation, your family of origin, your parents in particular. There's powerful healing energies here. And whether it is feeling your home to be a space that is like a sanctuary, a healing space, if you will, but this could also be a particular relationship with someone from your past or a family member getting a burst of healing now in a way that allows meaningful forgiveness and a sense that you're able to put a certain situation behind you. Well, in some ways, you're reconciling with the past, but you're also finding peace right where you are. And that balance can help you to be that much more present as you move forward from here. Capricorn, siblings, cousins, neighbors, and thinking, talking, communicating. Well, look, here's the thing. Chances are you're not seeing things clearly, full stop, all around, especially around the middle of the week. So it becomes really important to pace yourself. Try not to sign any agreements or make big life-changing decisions because you're just not accurately assessing things. And that really is okay. This is a time to dream, to plug into source, and to brainstorm all that could be possible for you. But for all that, we have here incredible energies that speak to either a healing moment with one of these types of people I just mentioned, where great news could happen in their lives and you're happy for them, healing moments for them and you're happy for them, or within the relationship itself. But the flip side is also possible where it feels as if one of these people is not being straightforward with you. I'm sorry to say, but the great thing is that you're still able to bring a perspective of love. And if anything, that brings you peace. Aquarius, money you earn, money you spend, self-love, self-esteem are covered here. And this can be beautiful for feeling the faith of prosperity and feeling prosperity just rush in almost miraculously, very possible. But of course, the reverse is true. It can feel like a flush goes out. It happens. But the great thing is when we have such strong financial energy, it means that the money you need is there. Sometimes you've just got to bring intentionality to have it all come together as you engage those spiritual lessons. And this is really about seeing spirit and bringing spirit to financial matters in your life, how you generate income for yourself. If you see it as a force of healing, however you understand that, well, that's when you really are on the pathway towards greater abundance. This can also play out in terms of healthy self-love and healthy self-esteem, getting a big burst of healing now, helping you to see yourself through heaven's eyes. Pisces, identity and who you know yourself to be, what matters to you most and first. This is a very dreamy energy and you just might not be seeing yourself clearly. But also of all the signs, you are one of the signs that needs to be very diligent with your self-care, especially if you know that you're given to fluctuations in mood. But for all that, where it is that you are actively engaging this energy, to meditate, to be willing to see a higher wisdom playing out as you know yourself to be, to let soul lead the way and guide your actions. Well, that's when the magic becomes that much more apparent, that much more evident. And that really is where you just might connect to a newfound identity that is rooted in soul, rooted in yourself as an embodiment of the divine. It could lend itself to a moment that'll be incredibly significant to you for a long time to come. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.